Went from place to place, place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavian Cupid, and we are coming to you live from the Port Mall, downtown Scarborough, Tobago. It is Friday, the 4th of October, 2024. Yes, another Friday morning. Thank God for life. Thank God that I'm sitting here before you. It is indeed my pleasure. And whether you are viewing us on Amplifier 102, Facebook, or YouTube, I want to thank you for choosing the morning show and always making us your number one choice. You're probably saying, well, Lavian, did you have a blast yesterday? I did indeed. I want to thank everyone that sent me all those great greetings. You all warmed my heart. I felt loved and seen. I truly, truly appreciate it. I had a blast yesterday. But besides me having a blast yesterday, so much happening right here in the Tobago space. Were you one of those persons logged on yesterday, or locked on, I should say, yesterday, as we witnessed John Prokop as he swam from Tobago to Trinidad? What a historic moment. Kudos going out to him and his team. All right, what a phenomenal thing to look at, to view, and to be a part of, to be alive in this time. All right, so Friday mornings when you see me, we are talking Tobago October Carnival. So as per usual, we have a packed show here, right here for you on Tobago Updates Television on the morning show. So much to discuss, so much happening. I mean, we're still having post-budget conversations in some corners, yeah? Still a lot happening right here, all right? Again, I want to thank you for choosing us as I send you over to Biana for news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, October 4th, 2024. John Prokop, a Tobagonian, successfully completed his fourth attempt of swimming from Tobago to Trinidad. Departing from Scarborough, Tobago on Wednesday, October 2nd, shortly before 10 p.m., Prokop successfully completed his fourth attempt of swimming from Tobago to Trinidad 24 hours later on Thursday as anticipated. Inspired by an enslaved man named Sandy, who is believed to have escaped capture by swimming from Tobago to Trinidad in the 18th century, Prokop completed this venture incident-free. Prokop, who is now receiving widespread praise for his historic swim, was supported by boat operator David McLean, also known as Predator. Up next, the Joint Trade Union Movement, which represents about 50,000 members across 11 unions, has rejected the government's proposed 5% wage increase for public sector workers as announced during Monday's budget presentation. Joint Trade Union Movement President Ansel Roger criticized the government for bypassing collective bargainings and announcing the wage increase without prior negotiations with recognized unions. He described the finance minister offer as contemptuous and disrespectful, emphasizing that it lacked proper dialogue with the unions. Roger argued that the proposed increase would not adequately address the financial struggles of workers and accused the government of trying to garner political support with inadequate promises. And finally, opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is scheduled today to respond to Finance Minister Colin Imbert's 2025 budget aimed at addressing those she claimed have been abandoned by the People's National Movement. Persad-Bissessar's response will critique the government's $59.8 billion budget, focusing on Imbert's economic assessment, financial management, crime challenges, while proposing alternatives. She is expected to present a plan highlighting the UNC's vision for the country, focusing on public security and economic issues. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
For that, Biana. All right, Biana, and were you able to take in Mr. Prokop yesterday?
Yes, I was able to at intervals, but I applaud this gentleman for his venture. Swimming just at the shore is a bit frightening for me because I hate the water to get into my ears. But the 24 hours later, it's really a round of applause to this gentleman.
It is. We're talking stamina, preparation. They did indeed put quite a bit of preparation. So much happening here in October. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes.
Lots of walks, lots of charitable functions happening? Anything that you're participating in? Anything that you're supporting this month?
Well, actually, I want to support the breast cancer movement. I haven't seen any event to, probably take part, but I am seeing a lot of flyers, sending out persons to, come get checked out and that stuff. Yeah.
Most importantly, once you take your health seriously, once you go get that mammogram,
Yes.
I think that's enough. Once you could encourage one person to go, and I think I really have to look in to see which and where our health facilities probably have these procedures being offered, and what days, and definitely be able to bring that information for the people. All right, Bianna, you have a very, very wonderful weekend, all right? And thank you again for that news there in 90 seconds.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, and so at this time, we go on and we start to celebrate with those that are celebrating, because it is Libra Nation, it is Libra time, and I have to be biased. When I'm being biased, I have to let you know. So we have to pump our Libras up this morning. Jody Melville Nimblet, listen to me. Jody, happy birthday, girl. Such a beautiful soul, such a humble, virtuous woman. Jody, I wish you the most happiest of birthdays today. Continue being your wonderful and marvelous self. Keep loving and wearing love on your sleeve and peace on your sleeve. You are inspiring so many of us. You keep going. Happy birthday to you. Wishing you all God's blessings. And then next we have Lauren Stewart. Lauren, happy birthday to you. Wishing you a fantastic day surrounded by love and peace, and wishing you prosperity as you move forward in your life. Happy birthday going out to you. We then have Natoya Johnson Chapman. Happy birthday to you, Natoya. I pray God's continued blessings over your life. I pray that you get everything that you want today and moving forward with your life, all right? Keep on giving thanks, and also remember to be kind to yourself. And it is our very own boy, Marcus Daniel, our sports anchor. Marcus, happy birthday going out to you. I know that wifey is doing a lot today, and you have a lot planned, and I know that you're going to be surrounded by your family and your friends. Happy birthday. God's continued and richest blessings. We love you here at Tobago Updates Television. You're an integral part of our very close-knitted family. And again, we love you. Happy birthday going out to you, to my boy Marcus. All right. And so it is carnival season. Yes, Entertainment Central tonight at 8 p.m. sharp. We are getting ready for the carnival season, all right? And you're wondering, who are we going to be speaking to this morning? Well, we're definitely diving a bit into entertainment. And so we would be speaking to entertainer, dancehall artist, and soca artist, that is, Nelly Kotoy. We'll be speaking about her new release, yes, her new soca release, and also her plans for Tobago October Carnival. She will be over here on the island. And then we speak to Everald Jones, promoter with Shorty Promotions, and we will be discussing two events that they have coming up in this month: Blue Dasheen Day and the Assembly. Then we speak with the birthday boy. Then we have the birthday boy on. We have the birthday boy on, apologies. Yeah, we don't speak with him. We have him on. Marcus will be speaking to Kerry Celestine, basketball coach, as they discuss Tobago Basketball Zonal Commission. So, as promised, every single Friday, we have a packed show for you, all right? So, we're going to take a quick break. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Live more. you for fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me be very hard, fiesta, fun, fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want the good on.
They do good enough, nine. Girl, go the club, can't lie. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on me man.
Dream. Attention soldiers, are you ready for the ultimate mission for Tobago Carnival? It's time to gear up for Army Fed Operation Rocks Glow.
I feel like I'm running tongue again. No place like home.
We're taking the vibes out to the countryside, where a premier cast of live entertainment will be pumping all night long. Army Fed Operation Rocks Glow. Join us on Thursday, 24th October at the Sid Grace Sporting Complex, Roxborough, for the high-energy Wear White Soca Bashment Rocks Glow. Army Fed Tobago. Operation Rocks Glow.
Oh, this summer, me man get me vex so I kick him in the face like boo. No money than you man who could walk up your waist like boo, 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 boo. Get them. All West Indian man could whine. Trouble. If you stiff like board, then leave me behind. Leave it alone. When me stepping at the dance.
Viewers, thank you so much for staying with us and welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. I am your host, Lavion Cupid, and we are diving into entertainment this Friday morning as per usual. And to bring us in there, you would have been hearing Boop by Nelly Kotoy, a local artist here in the scene in Trinidad and Tobago by extension. And we are speaking with her this morning. Nelly, good morning.
Good morning to you. Hi, thanks for having me.
It is indeed our pleasure. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I am well. That is good to hear. So I know that you have two new songs. It's Boop and Wicked Man. Tell me if I'm correct.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, you also have another one. Do you have a soca song?
The soca is Wicked Man.
The soca is Wicked Man. All right. But tell me a bit about Nelly Kotoy, though.
Nelly Kotoy is a Trimbegonian-born zest/dancehall artist, but I also do any genre that comes to me. I was born and raised in Debra Road, Long Circular, St. James, and I started off as a dancer, and then I made the transition from a dancer to an artist about 6 years ago. Since then, I've been doing zest and dancehall music.
All right. And how has the industry been? How has it been as a female in the industry?
Difficult, but it has its beautiful moments that makes the difficult times with it.
All right, nice. And do you do any composing? How do your songs come about and come along?
Yeah, I write all of my music. In the beginning, when I first started, my song Jockey Rider was written by Crystal Buffy Coffee. And the person who was managing me at that time is who linked her to write that song for me. So after he suffered some medical conditions and he was unable to manage me, which is Curtis Hernandez, I went off on my own. My mom became my management, and then I had to be forced to learn to write music. So I learned to write my own songs, and I started writing for myself ever since.
All right. And any of these two were written by you?
All. Everything has been written by me since that very first song, Jockey Rider.
All right. Nice. Nice to see a woman out there doing her thing. I know that I would have seen
Thank
that
you.
this year you were at the Caribbean Music Awards in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
How was
I
that?
was. I
Was that your
there
first
last
time?
year. No, I was there last year as a nominee. I was nominated for Best New Dancehall Artist. I was the only Trimbegonian, well, the only non-Jamaican to be nominated in any dancehall category at all. And this year, I was invited to be a presenter. So I presented an award to artists in a different category.
Yeah, but how was it just being a part and being amongst all those greats and being amongst all that talent and having that moment? How was it?
Amazing, amazing. Every time I go, I feel more butterflies in my stomach. Like the butterfly is supposed to be going away. I feel more butterflies. Last year, I didn't get to do much because I was so nervous and I went up by myself. This year, I was able to go up with my mom. I was able to travel with my makeup artist. I had the support system there. So everything that I did not get to do last year because I missed the red carpet, because my heel broke, I didn't get to speak with any artists because I was too nervous. This year, I made it on time for the red carpet. So I was there to get all my Getty images. I got to speak with Spice one-on-one. I got to talk to Mr. Killer. I got to see everybody. Like, I get to socialize and mingle with these greats, these giants in the industry, Dexter Daps, everybody. And just having that one-on-one with Spice was worth everything to me, because that's the person that I look up to the most in the industry. So having to be able to speak with her, hug her, take photos with her, it was just a great experience. And having my mom there to witness it all, what more could I ask for?
Yeah, definitely. Indeed, I'm happy that you had that moment. You certainly deserve it. And you,
Thank you.
girl, you slayed on that red carpet. You were looking gorgeous.
Hey,
Yeah.
big up my way designs one time.
Yeah, you did everything. But as we were mentioning some of the
Thank you.
greats, could you tell me some of our greats that would have inspired you, that got you into wanting to be part in music and wanting to perform and wanting to just love the culture, love the arts, the Caribbean arts by extension, because you did mention that you also love dancehall as well, just not soca.
Yeah. Okay, so anytime I have to talk about what inspired me to start music, I have to always mention Crazy, which is Edwin Iron, because I don't think if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have even gone into music, because I was his dancer for many years. And he was the one who said, you know what, you're already a dancer, you're already an actress. Add music to it and become a triple threat. And I was like, no, Uncle Crazy, I can't sing because I can't be on stage by myself. I'll be scared. And he was like, no, you could do it, Chanel, you could do it, you have to try. And he's the one who made me actually write my first soca. We actually recorded about 2 songs together. We just never released it because I was in the earlier stages when I still needed some work. And Crazy has been the motivation, the person that made me start doing music. When it comes to artists that inspire me, Bunji Garlin is on the top of my list because I've always loved his lyrical flow, pattern, and styling since I was small. And I have to enter any singing competition, I will always do a Bunji Garlin and win, always, because I just love the way how he flow. I naturally talk very fast, and to see Bunji spitting fast just as I talk fast, I was amazed by that. That to me, that was our local Buster Rhymes. And Spice Official is who inspired me in the dancehall arena, because coming from being a dancer, I appreciated how she carried her dancers every single way with her, and she always put on a show. Because I believe as an entertainer, if you're hired or you're booked for a show, it's not to just grab a mic and you on stage by yourself and you just sing and dice it. I think you need to put on a show, a presentation, especially when you're in the industry, the soca industry and the dancehall industry. I believe it should be a show. If people come out to see you, they must never know what they're going to expect. And Spice always gives that element of surprise and always puts on a show. So those are my 2 inspirations, and Crazy is the one who made me start in the first place.
All right. Well, good morning to Edwin Ayong. Good morning to him, doing all that good work in our space.
Yeah.
Cultivating
Yes.
such good artists and such good craft. All right. So we're diving into your song, "Wicked Man." Girl, tell me where that came from.
Well, the whole Terrence situation with Terrence and his wife, from the minute I saw the situation, I was like, hey, what really going on in Trinidad? Every day is something new. And as soon as I saw the video, I just started chanting, "Wicked man, them is wicked man. Wicked man, them is wicked man. Everywhere you look, na 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 na." And I say, hey, this song ain't good, I will touch back on that later. Then I say, you know what, Nelly? Just record a video with yourself right now before you shower and post it. So I recorded a video with myself singing that little piece that I made up, and it was just a freestyle, and I posted it, and it immediately went viral. I see like 100,000 views on TikTok in no time. People sharing it. People started to request for our official song. Just the ball just in time for Tobago Carnival. Let it go. We need it. We need it across in Tobago. So I was like, the voice of people is the voice of God. So if they want this, let me turn it into an official song. And that's exactly what I did. I called up my producer. He was ironically in Tobago at the time. And when Scriptures returned to Trinidad, he was like, all right, Nelly, let's work. We went and we shoot his music video. We head up in the studio right after that. And we did Wicked Man, and we put it out the next morning one time.
Right, nice. And I mean, I see that it is really garnering a lot of attention. Persons are actually really liking it. You're seeing it all over your social media feed. Yes, wicked man. So I love that you took inspiration from something that was happening right in our space. Yeah. I mean, there were so many memes, so many conversations, and you built a song from it and something that is really just running through our airwaves. And then you have Boop. So tell me something about Boop.
Okay, so Boop is on Aaron Duncan rhythm. Big up Aaron Duncan anyway. He's stand, that is the king, that is the general. Aaron Duncan has this rhythm called it Summer Steam Rhythm. And when I heard it and I had to jump on it, there were already 2 songs out and it was going down the lines of being single or just, that kind of vibe. You're single, you want to have fun. So I say, you know what, I'm not going to break the trend. I'm not going to write something different. I'm going to continue with the storyline since we're already telling a story on the rhythm. So the first thing that came to my head was the boop, 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 boop. And I was literally seeing the waistline moving, like people whining to that part. I was like, yeah, you need to do a whining. So, but I didn't know how to start the song. And when I was in studio with Aaron, I was like, Aaron, I just want to start hard hitting and get people attention one time. So you know what? My man get me back so I kick him in the face like boop. And he was like, just so? Dry so? And I said, just so, dry so, just start it so. Because too, as a female artist in the industry, we are overlooked so many times. We do positive songs, we do hard-hitting lyrical songs, and we just get pushed underneath the rug for the men to just come and sing anything, and they always get pushed to the forefront. So I say, you know what? I'm going to draw the attention one time from the start, from the jump, and then deliver my lyrics in the verses so they could hear that I have lyrical flow and pattern as well. And that is what I did. I came out hard hitting so people will have something to talk about at the start. No, I did not kick my man in his face like boop. But those are just the little intrusive thoughts, women. That's think in the head like when your man get you so vexed, you just wish you could, but you know you wouldn't. So it's like, my man give me vex so I could give me in the face like boop. No one need a new man. It made sense. No one need a new man who could walk up you. It's like boop, boop, boop. And it just was like a nice whining song. So you're just supposed to kick, whine, and vibe.
Very nice. I like that you're strategizing. I love that you're taking it to that next level. All right, so it's the Tobago October Carnival 2024. Would you be gracing our shows?
Yes, I will be in Tobago. I'm not going to say as yet, but I'm going to be all over the place. I am going to be on the little island, so you guys need to link up with Just Nikki Promo, all promoters, and book your girl for everywhere. I'm going to shell down the whole island before I leave.
All right, but please throw it out there. Who can they link to get onto you and to book you?
Sure, you can link up with Just Nikki Promo on Instagram. Her contact number is 748-5086. That's 748-5086. You guys can call her up, hit her up, book, because we can't be everywhere. So whoever book first, get through. Come in and steam it up, come in and shell it down. You're shooting at the Queen as my DJ Kyle. We come in and match on the place. You don't know the thing, let's go.
All right. Thank you so much, Nelly Kotoy. Thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. And we are looking forward to seeing you in Tobago and to having you on our streets, titivaying yourself this Tobago October Carnival. All right, viewers. So that was Nelly Kotoy. We were speaking with her about her new release and her time here that she's going to be spending for Tobago October Carnival 2024. Look out for her. She's going to be on a few stages at a few fetes. I know that you've already chosen your fetes, and I definitely hope that it is one that she is going to be performing at. All right. So at this time, we are going to go for a break and be right back because we have a packed show for you as per usual. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Wicked man, them is wicked man. Wicked man, them is wicked man. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, all you see is wicked man. Wicked man, them is wicked man. Wicked man, them is wicked man. Everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, all you see is wicked man. Police is wicked man. Soldiers is wicked man. Leave your wife or man come my side check well, then you know you're a wicked man. Parents is wicked man. Who's is a wicked man? Get a hickey then when I see it, say is a bruise is a wicked man. Wicked man, them is wicked man. Wicked.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release. Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun. morning, they go drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on. From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival. Down here in Tobago. In Tobago. Whether you're chipping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October. The biggest and sexy.
Now here what's going on. You see this section? It makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada.
Oh. Plead for angels to get them crave for. They really need it too. When you play with
oh my goodness. And as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
You never wanna leave cause the drinks them running for throw. But I really feel a vibe every time I say right down and up and like this, but it's nothing like this. Not you be like you. For angel me say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is Pina Colada, something nice, a little bit of spice, and of course, not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Gotta cruise, make the border.
We are on the road with Pina Colada. Boom, boom.
Swap down, track 7. Tobago, have a plan.
Let me go now. Yes.
Yes.
Let me go.
If you want life in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago. If you want vibes in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago. Wanted this all of my life. One place with all of my life. Everything that I need is all on the island. You can come in, stay more than a while. So go catch your friends, bring something, and pack up your bag, let's go. If you're looking elsewhere, na 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 na. If you're going elsewhere, na na na.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you for staying with us and thank you for choosing us. All right. Today is also World Teachers Day, so I want to say happy World Teachers Day to all our teachers, our hardworking and dedicated educators out there. We see you, we appreciate you. All right. So we are continuing conversations this morning as we are talking Tobago October Carnival 2024 ritual, revelry, and finally when we release and titivate ourselves on the road or in some fete, some event between October 25th and 27th, all right? So we're speaking to promoter Everald Jones this morning from Shorty Promotions. And if you know anything about Shorty Promotions, he always has something tucked away that he's doing that we are all going to enjoy. Everald, good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning to you. Good morning to your viewers. Thank you for having me on your show this morning.
Indeed, thank you for coming to give us this information. So we have two events. We have Blue Dasheen Day and the Assembly. Now, something tells me that the Assembly is the event that I'm going to titivate myself in. So I'm going to leave that for last, and I want to dive into Blue Dasheen Day. So tell me about this event.
Well, the Blue Dasheen Day is something that we have been doing for the past 5 years at Village Vibes Bar. The Blue Dasheen, as you know, for Mason all known for the Blue Dasheen. So at Village Vibes Bar is something that we have with a wide variety of bush meat. Well, this year we actually have deer, we have manikou, we have tattoo, all the different wild meat. But the Blue Dasheen starts after what we call the Backyard Juve Jam.
Okay.
So the Backyard Juve Jam starts at 3 a.m. So we have Lady Lava, we have Iowa George, we have the Young Brother coming through. So from 3 a.m. all the way till later down in the evening, is where the Blue Dasheen starts. The Blue Dasheen starts at 11 a.m. So it's a packed day at Village Vibes Bar in Mason Hall. So it's an event that, you know, we encourage persons to come because you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss that 3 a.m. early morning juvie with Lady Lava coming on stage. Young Buddha gonna be there. Iowa George gonna be there. And we have the wet zone and the dry zone. So if you don't want to get wet, we have the VIP section for you to be there, stand up on top, look down at the crowd, and you could still have a blast from up on top looking down at persons getting wet. We have the paint section as well.
So we're talking about a full day of events because it's starting at 3 a.m.
A full day of events.
So we juve.
Yes.
And then we moving into, so we're going to have a wet and dry zone.
Yes.
And then after that, what we're probably going to have some breakfast, or we're going straight into the wild meat?
Going straight into the wild meat.
So at Titi Vane myself, it's juve, my head nice, liquor running, and wild meat. And thing to eat.
Thing to eat.
This is what we're talking about.
The best tasting food you could get is at Village Vibes Bar.
Is at Village Vibes Bar.
Trust me. Is at Village Vibes Bar. So you don't want to miss that day.
And entertainment, we're talking about Lady Lava, Young Brother, Iowa George, and you also have a DJ cast lineup.
Yes, we have a DJ cast. We have selector Father Madman Ish. We have MC Marlon is going to be there, DJ Busy. We have DJ Article, MC Busy. We have a full cast. We have this guy DJ Dede from Space Side. We have Bego Songs. Lavian is a pack event on that day.
Yeah, vibes after vibes. So what day is it? And tell me, where can I get tickets? Is it a ticket event? Is it a pay at the door event?
It's a ticket event. You could pay at the door. Ticket is $150 for the wet zone and $200 for the dry zone. We have tickets at the Chinese restaurant at Village Vibes Bar. We have at Pablo Supermarket. We have at Raja's Bar. That is at Mount Grace Junction. And then we have Pure Vanity Clothing, both Port Mall and Lowlands. And we have it on Island E-tickets.
All right, nice. And what day is this event?
So this is on the 20th of October.
Right as we getting down into, and is that a Friday?
No, that's the Sunday.
That's it, Sunday, all right. Just as we are getting down into Tobago October Carnival.
Yes.
So the week, so that's the Sunday leading into the week. So you're all hotting up the thing.
Yes.
Heading into the TTV session.
Yes.
All right, so we're starting. So viewers, you hear that? We are starting at Shorty Bar. It's Village Vibes Bar.
Village Vibes Bar.
Village Vibes Bar in Mason Hall for Blue Dasheen Day. And did you hear that lineup? All right, I'm intrigued. I'm sold. I'm intrigued. I'm sold. Wet zone, dry zone. We're talking entertainment. We're talking juve. We're talking thing to eat. But then we also have the assembly.
Yes. No, the assembly is something that you know, I would have been talking to Shorty about since last year. It was on the drawing board. And this came about, I'm not sure if persons could remember Soca Storm in the earlies, where you had something that the school children could have gone to. So I sat down and I said, Shorty, I want to do something for the school children.
Right.
And he said, well, what you want to do? And I said, I think I want to do something like this Soca Storm. And so this is where the assembly came about. So we trying to create an avenue, a clean event, a clean space that school children could go to. So we have Farm and Happy coming. So we have Farm and Happy there, and we also have Young Brother coming. So this is something where all secondary school children could come, be a part, and have a good time. So this is for the school children.
Nice. So this is for the teeny boopers.
Yes.
We're doing something for them because I think something is needed.
Yes,
because they want to be a part of it, but we also need to set healthy boundaries for adults and teeny boopers. All right, good. So the assembly, tell me when and where.
So this is actually on the 19th of October.
Right.
And this is held at the Shaw Park Cultural Complex. And before we go any further, I really want to give thanks to the Secretary of Education, Mr. Risha Hackett, because without her, we wouldn't be able to do this, to be quite honest. Ms. Hackett and her team, thank you very much for allowing us to do this. But this event, school kids, you need to come out. We have tickets on sale at all secondary schools right now. But it's a great event for them. to be quite honest.
Yeah, definitely. All right. And was it time? Because, I mean, I know it's teeny booper, so was it time?
We're having this from 3 p.m. to 8. We don't want to go too late for the school children. And it's an event where $60 for the kids, $120 for the parents. So we separating the section where parents could be on one side, kids on the other side having a
I
good
like
time.
that. So if you want to drop off your kids, fine.
Yes.
But if you also want to be there, just hanging around,
You
eating
could-
a burger, having some wings, and
Enjoying
shaking your foot a
music.
bit
Correct.
while you wait on your kids, yeah, you have that
You
option.
have that option, yes.
I like that.
Yes,
Very inclusive, thinking out
it's something for the kids to be a part and have that time to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, you said Soca Storm. You almost gave out my age there. Not my age, our age.
Our age,
you
correct.
almost gave out our age.
Correct,
I'm out here
because-
trying to fool the masses that I'm 17. You talking Soca Storm. All right.
And I mean, remember that was in the old show park.
The old show park. We didn't
Yes,
even
so
have
we
this
have
big.
to-
Yeah,
so we have
in
to
that
bring
little
it back.
sweat box. All right.
Yeah, so we
good.
have to bring it back. And I mean, it's something that we want to do every year.
Make it an annual
And
thing.
yes, and this year being its first, so I invite each student to purchase your ticket. Parents, give your children that $60 to come on board. Trust me, it's a pack event. It's a lot of giveaways that happening. We have a lot of surprises. So you don't want to miss this event. You don't want to wait till the day after to hear, boy, the 19th was real good.
Yeah.
Be a part of that experience.
Yeah, all right. And that lineup again, Farmer Nappy and Young Brother. Well, I know those teeny boopers will be out there, all right? But tickets for that event would be
It's
at the
all,
schools.
all secondary schools. They have tickets. If you also want to get tickets, they could contact me at 686-0898 if they want to purchase tickets outside of the event. But again, it's only for school kids.
It's only for teeny boopers. But you could also get tickets at Village Vibes Bar.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. All right, good. All right, well, thank you so much. Anything you want to tell my viewers, tell my people before you leave the set this morning, why the Assembly and Blue Dasheen Day are events that they must attend?
Well, let me start with the Blue Dasheen. It is one of the best events, Lavian. Every year for the past 5 years, I've been there. And for me, I always go to fill my belly. Because when I go, you're never disappointed. It's the best tasting food you could have at Village Vibes Bar. So it's an event that you wanna have, you wanna be there, you wanna be a part of. And this year, it's its first that we're doing our jewelry into the Blue Dasheen.
Right.
So you wanna be a part of this event. You don't wanna miss it. So guys, come out, purchase the tickets now. Lady Lava is excited. She's excited almost every other day. She has called, she has messaged. She say, listen, Shorty, Evel, I can't wait to touch that stage. So she's going to be there and she's going to have a blast. She's going to turn up Mason Hall.
Yeah, phenomenal performer.
Yes, of course. For the assembly, guys, kids, you don't want to miss this. It is an event for you. It's a clean space for you to be there. It's an environment for you to have fun. We're going to decorate the entire show park for you to have that experience. So be there, come purchase the tickets. All schools actually have the tickets right now. So you could go this morning and you could have your tickets purchased right now.
All right. Thank you so much, Everett.
You're welcome, Lavian.
All right. So, viewers, we were talking to Everett Jones, promoter with Shorty Promotions, talking about the Blue Dasheen Day and also the Teeny Boopers event that is coming up on the 19th of October, the Assembly. So, get your teenagers out there to enjoy as we dive into Tobago October Carnival 2024. And I just want to remind you guys that tonight at 8 p.m., Entertainment Central, with your host, the lovely Lavian, I would be here. All right. We have a packed show for you as always. And I want to remind you that if you are planning to play mass this year for Tobago October Carnival 2024, Fog Angels Mass, but not just Fog Angels Mass, the Pina Colada section, which is powered by Tobago Updates Television. So when you register, make sure and select that you were referred by Tobago Updates Television, and you're going to get something really, really special. Tell them Lavian sent you. You will not be disappointed. I know that we are choosing our fets right now, right? Or you should have chosen your fets by now, yeah? Well, remember Nirvana. Put Nirvana on your list of fetes. That premium all-inclusive fete that we get dressed up and we get bougie and kisses there, ladies. Oh my God, my heart is throbbing. I know that you want to be there. I am definitely going to be there. So if you want to titivate yourself with me, you know where I will be. All right. So make sure and get your tickets. Make sure and get your costume. Remember the pina colada section as we go down the road, as we release finally on that black carpet in that beautiful white costume. I cannot wait to see that costume on this beautiful melanated skin. All right. And on yours as well. So Marcus will be up next with sports. All right. Stay locked to Tobago Updates Television, to the morning show. I want to thank you for always choosing Tobago Updates Television and the morning show to wake you up and give you everything entertainment and current affairs. So remember, as we go for this quick break, to share the life, share the life, share the life.
Are you an architect or draftsman looking to upgrade your skills, or a beginner eager to master essential tools? ReCAD Labs has the solution. Our Revit Architecture Fundamental Tobago course is designed to boost your skills and confidence. Running from October 6th to November 17th, this course includes a live session on November 17th for hands-on learning. Learn from experts in our virtual classroom and stay ahead in the world of architecture. Visit recadlabs.com to enroll now and follow us on social media for updates.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi guys, good morning, and of course, welcome to the sporting segment on this beautiful Friday, October 4th. Yes, we're talking sports this morning, and of course, as per usual, we do have one or two guests coming in to talk different things that happen in the local space where sport is concerned. And of course, while we are waiting for our guests to join in the set, I know that we also have in the space the Tobago International Cycling Classic. I mean, just last week, I had a conversation with Mr. Jeff Charles, who is the event coordinator of this event that has been happening for way over 30 years. I mean, just yesterday I saw a number of persons, I mean, quarreling and making noise about, the traffic and the event being held here in Tobago. I saw someone asking, why are we having the Tobago Cycling Classic in Tobago at this time? I mean, this has been happening for well over 30 years. I mean, we produce the likes of Emil Abraham and so many others who have gone on to represent Trinidad and Tobago in the cycling space. So I'm not too sure, I mean, what's the complaint with the cycling? The traffic is probably just over an hour. Talk to people in Trinidad who does go through traffic every single day, morning, noon, and night. And as someone who, advocating for sport and for international events here in Tobago, I can't see us trying to damage or tarnish the reputation of the Tobago International Cycling Classic. What I will ask of motorists and, of course, probably the organizers, probably a little bit more advertising or marketing or announcing that they're going to have it at a particular time so that motorists can actually plan for their route when going to work or going to the airport, wherever they are going. But I can tell you today, they are going to be in the community of Plymouth. Yes, normally an exciting time in Plymouth. That's going to be later on, I think, from one, if I'm not mistaken. And they're going to be doing a number of laps around that circuit in Plymouth. So for those who are in Plymouth, you can come out and sell a little salt, sell a little corn, sell whatever it is, and enjoy the international cycling event. I mean, we have international cyclists here. We also have locals, people from Trinidad, around the region as well, coming to support the event. And I want to commend Jeff Charles and the organizing committee for their continued support of this international event to Tobago, because we do need more international events where sport tourism is concerned, because when all these cyclists come here, they have to stay somewhere, they have to eat. Normally you want to stay to rent a vehicle or they'll spend and to not have it in Tobago because we are inconvenienced for a few minutes or a few hours, nah. So they're in Plymouth today, they're going to be in Market Square tomorrow, and then they're going to end off with the tour of Tobago. So you have heard it here. Ensure that tomorrow in Market Square, stay out of town. Or you can probably get a bike and go and join the fun and support the cyclists. So yes, don't quarrel. Join the fun and enjoy it. I mean, they are spreading and marketing Tobago by being here. I like it, and I'm definitely going to be down at Plymouth this afternoon because I like to see that circuit in play. But I've been joined by not a cyclist, but someone who like to bunks balls, and someone who have been advocating for basketball here in Tobago. And I'm sure every time you pass that shore park, whether it's by choice or trying to avoid traffic on the highway, you will see this guy on the shore park hardcourt with some youngsters. Good morning to you, Mr. Celestine.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Fantastic. Kerry, you weren't inconvenienced at all with the traffic with the cycle?
No.
You actually saw any of the races?
No, I haven't seen any of the races as yet.
Yeah.
But I love the idea. I love the mind fact that we have people coming in to Tobago, because this is the way we can market Tobago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's my thing. As I mentioned, Emil Abraham, household name because of this international cycling classic, and a number of others who have been here. And normally when they come, they like to go to the reef, they like to go to Pigeon Point, they like to go to Storby, and that's marketing for Tobago. Definitely. And obviously they will come back probably with their families, and have a good time in Tobago. But Kerry, talking Tobago Basketball Zonal Commission, and I'm sure a lot of people, they aren't aware that there's a basketball league currently happening at the Shore Park complex. So this is your opportunity to tell persons who aren't aware what's happening where Tobago basketball is concerned.
Well, good morning to Tobago and the wider world. Basketball is back.
Yeah.
in Tobago, and we have started off with a bang. We have 8 teams taking part in our leagues this year, and what I've seen so far is that we have a mixture of the older, experienced team and a couple of young, energetic team, and it brings a big dynamic to the league where we see in the season or the more experienced team coming out. They're a little bit slower, but you're seeing that experience. But the younger groups are coming out and ready to take that crown from the older, more experienced team. So,
so when I say more experienced teams, give me an idea of who are some of those senior teams.
Oh well, there's Coach Hill Bouncers.
Wait, Hill Bouncers still playing?
Hill Bouncers still playing.
I mean, like men like Blast, Keegan, Richard Allen. Who again playing? Chicken.
Junior.
Junior Roberts. Wow.
Yes.
Them fellas, they won any games?
Yeah, they actually third in the table.
Wow.
So they actually won 5 games and lost 3. So you're seeing that they still could play the game. And when they talk about senior, these are guys are over 40. Some of them probably reach 50.
But since I get school, Richard playing.
Yes, definitely. So it's nice to see the older guys still interested in basketball. And the mere fact that we're playing in the Shore Park complex, I thought that brought a lot of excitement. You know, people got the opportunity to play on the board floor for the first time. And people, you're seeing the interest in the game start to get a little better, and you know, everybody coming out and the support, because there's one game I remember when we was playing on the Monday, the day before Republic Day, and we was playing inside, and when I walk outside, it was wet. And before rain, you know.
So normally in Shore Park, is it there? Men probably go and drink some beers on the side because that is it for Shore Park. So in terms of going into the complex, so that's it for the hard courts.
No, that's not it, because we still have to train and use the hard court for development.
Oh, so you're not allowed to train inside the complex, but it's only for competition?
Well, it's for competition purposes, but it's more for like events or tournaments or international.
Understood.
So we still have to utilize the hard court outside, but it's a great start. You know, it's good to see people were diving on the floor for ball. You know, things that they wouldn't have done on the hard court, they were able to do in the complex. And it's nice to see that sport is playing in the complex. Yeah,
I like that. So like watching NBA, right? You'll have a guy with a mop and thing. You have that as well too?
Well, we have the mop. We just need to get the volunteers to come out to help, you know? So it's growing. It's growing. And basketball is back in Tobago. We have the secondary school league that is supposed to start in January. And then next year we want to have a lot more tournaments to bring, like we said, marketing and also bring people to Tobago. We want to have tournaments in Tobago so that we can bring outside teams into Tobago so that basketball could grow again. Because it was the first league that we had since 2019.
Wow.
So this is 5 years of people not playing at any competition.
Wow.
So it's nice to see basketball is back, you know, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. I and all trying to play. You know, I'm a little older, you know, I'm feeling it in the bones and stuff like that, but it was good to be out there having fun and just, you know, playing on that stage, seeing people in the stands and cheering and stuff like that. That was an awesome experience.
2019, we know in 2024, my word. I mean, in terms of the support, you mentioned that you persons are allowed to come in and support. I know when you're watching sport, I mean, I want to eat a little nuts, and I know that the complex, there's a policy there in terms of eating. Are you allowed to eat and drink, or not on the floor side?
No, you're not allowed to eat and drink in the complex, and it's not the first facility that has that policy. So it's just about us adjusting, you know, because some of the players and stuff like that, or some of the supporters, you know, will want to sit down and eat and stuff like that.
And you don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss the action.
Don't want to miss the action.
But it's just nice to just be out there, the environment, you know, just to see people sit down in a comfortable area and AC down, and you know, you're just relaxing, you're just taking game, because we had 4 games scheduled a day, and the door the price to come in was only $10, so you pay $10 to watch 4 games. Steal a deal
as well.
Definitely.
And I think it lends for predictability in terms of planning by the Tobago Basketball Zone Commission, because before, especially now when you're in the season, when you schedule games, sometimes rain, and then obviously scheduling games, men might rent a maxi, you cook your food, you get your drinks, and then you have to just postpone and go again, and that's a waste. So now you have a certain predictability where planning is concerned. You mentioned some of the senior teams. Tell me about the younger teams involved and how are they doing?
Okay, so we have Asa's team, which is basically Bishop's under 20 team. And they took part, and they took the first place team right down to the wire. They only lost by 3 points, and that's the under 20 team.
So give us some of the names of the Asa's players.
We have Chris Roberts.
Well, I mean, Kiss is a household name.
Chris is a household name. And we have this year Solomon
Solomon,
OKK.
right? Solomon played with Compre.
No, Bishops.
They left. That's no.
No, that's another guy. But he had a really good season as well.
Okay. Who is he playing with?
He's playing with Vikings.
Okay.
So
Cool.
Vikings is one of the new teams that was formed from players from Compre. Right. Under the leadership of Naira and Ali. Right. And he was able to put together that school team and they took part in the tournament. And for them, it's all about growing and experience and stuff like that. Because the more basketball they play, is it better that they're gonna play next year for the school league?
You're playing with bigger boys, bigger fellas as well too.
Definitely. So it was awesome just to see basketball back in Tobago because I'm a basketball junkie. And you know, it has been years since we were able to play any games and stuff like that. And now that it's back, I think that the game is going to grow. We're going to get more players coming out because even at the back end of the tournament, you see players wanting to come and play, you know, wanting to sign up with teams and stuff like that. So hopefully next year we should get more teams being a part of the league.
Right. So tell me about the leading teams right now and the format of the competition.
All right, so we just completed the first round robin of the competition. That was 8 teams, so each teams played each other.
So like 7 games.
7 games.
Right.
So after the 7 games, each teams played. We had Barrack Boys, which is another household name in Tobago.
Barrack Boys is 5-time champions or
6.
6.
We won 6.
So Vince still the coach there?
Vince still the coach.
So we have Gerald Orr, we're playing.
Gerald Orr, right.
Randall Moore.
No, Randall Moore is not playing anymore.
He's not playing anymore.
No, but we have Lenwin Wallace, who's still as dominant as before.
Right.
And they have a really good core group for years. So they are undefeated. So they are 7-0.
I can imagine that in a way. Oh my goodness. So they are on top of the table.
They are on top
after
of the table.
After 7 games.
After 7 games. 7-0.
And we're going to have another round of 7 again.
No, we're going to have another round. So the first round was just because after 5 years, we did not know the standard of play
and the fitness
would have been the bigger team, the strong teams, and the weaker team. So we did that overall rubber just to sift out the...
There's no first division or second division.
No.
Everybody playing.
But in the second round, what we decided to do is that we're going to separate the groups into a big 4 and a little 4,
that's
if you want to say.
So that's based on the amount of wins or the points?
Yes, the amount of wins. So the top 4 teams in the league gonna now play against each other again.
Right, and they will go on for the championship.
They're going to the championship.
And then the bottom 4 will play for positions.
Yes, okay, so basically they're just going to get more games in and stuff like that. But we wanted to just have that separation because next year, we will know we have an A division and a B division. So now we could know where to position teams.
That's really commendable. And tell me about the composition of the executive now, because I know that you had some challenges in terms of having a president or an executive in that sense. So you have now formalized that.
Yes, so we have an executive which is the leader or the chairman is Mr. George Leacock.
And of course he has history of basketball in Tobago.
Definitely. And we have Mr. Trim, who is the secretary of the basketball league.
Right.
So we have some solid people in place and stuff like that. Very experienced. So we have people now leading or directing the ship now. So now it's just to get the ship moving and get everybody on board, and so that we could advance the game of basketball in Tobago.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I'm sure because the Tobago updates, we have a lot of women normally watch the show, right? Anything in place for women in that sense?
Yes. So in the next phase of the competition, we're gonna have a couple of girls games. Because we're trying to rebuild the girls or the female basketball. So we're going to schedule a couple of girls games, so just to get people aware of it, get the girls interested and stuff like that, because we don't want to exclude the females, So in moving forward, we want the game to develop, not just with the male category, but also in the female category.
Right.
Yes.
So we spoke about the leading teams. So we have Barrack Boys and who's second?
So the top 4 teams in the league is Barrack Boys, 7-0, Elite Eagles, which is led by Kerry Celestine.
So you're coaching and playing. I like that.
I'm coaching and playing as well.
Them fellas play with coach.
Yes. So I'm trying to balance the coaching and playing.
That's good.
It's really hard.
Mentoring.
Yes, definitely. Because I'm not as young as I used to be. So I really need the help of the younger players.
Man, I tried to play some cricket this year where my niece said to me, boy, I say, let me give up that thing and let them young boys play. But I like that idea of you coaching and also playing. And I think they will react better as well.
Definitely.
So you guys are second.
Right. So we are 6-1. Then we have Hill Bouncers, which is they are 5-3.
Right.
And then we have Pure Players, which are 4-4.
So they're gonna play amongst each other.
Yes.
And then the top 2 play the final or something?
Then we're gonna have a finals coming out of that.
So the top 2 play the finals.
Yes.
Well, it's looking like Elite Eagles versus Barrack Boys final boy.
Definitely.
Right. In terms of prices, is there a first prize, a second prize?
We still structuring the price because we still trying to get some funds in and get sponsors and stuff like that. But what we wanted to do was to start the league because we had a deadline to finish the league because they have national championship coming up soon.
Right. And when is that deadline?
The deadline actually passed, which was the end of September.
So you have an extension.
So we have finished one phase of it. So if we have to move forward, we already have somebody who's on top, which is Barrack Boys.
Understood. So the winner of Tobago zone will be. Oh,
definitely playing against the winner of North Zone, playing against South Zone and stuff like that. And now we have a home court, which is the complex. So when games come to complex, we could ram out the complex. We could come and support the Tobago team and just have a good time.
I would love to see more marketing, especially social media, because as I said before, had I not been in the sporting discussion, I would not have known that the league started in a sense of way. So, and I'm sure with people now knowing that there's a basketball league in indoor and there's some predictability where the weather is concerned, they will go and watch it.
Definitely.
It's only $10 to get in, right?
Definitely, and I agree on that.
$10 to get in as well.
$10 to get in, yeah.
Man, and so tell me the times and when is the next when
so the next phase of the competition is starting the 20th of October. Right? We have the complex for another 4 days. Right? Bear in mind, that's a week before Carnival. So,
man, that's good. That's good vibe.
We're going to have a lot of entertainment on the island. So hopefully we have people who come to take part in the Carnival, come and watch a couple of games. And who knows, somebody who's big in basketball, who come from outside, could come and see the interest in the sport and want to invest in the sport.
Fantastic,
yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. So 20th, and then matches are normally like from 5.
From 5 in the evening. We had scheduled 4 games in the last rung, but we're gonna now push it to like 3 games because we want to go to full games. What we do, we had some shortened games because
they still didn't know
exactly.
Understood.
So now we have full length games, 4 quarters, 10 minutes, and now we're gonna get the real basketball. So now people have to prove themselves.
Fantastic. And let's tell me about the 4 teams that will be playing in the second half.
All right. So we have Aces, right, who finished 5th. Right. Then we had Vikings. We had Fivers, and then we had who's the next team? We had
Uprising's still there.
No, Uprising's not there.
Uprising's not there.
So so we had Aces, Vikings, Fivers, and I can't remember who's the last team, but we have 4 teams that is coming on board and they're working really hard and stuff like that. So we just excited to have basketball back in Tobago.
Fantastic, and I'm happy. I'm really happy that you guys have restarted it, and I'm happy that the guys are reacting well to the court, because I mean. All the years I saw them guys have known themselves. They play hard court in Shaw Park and in Bethel and Roxborough, and to have the opportunity of playing on a board flooring, that's really commendable on the basketball commission. And I wish you guys all the best going forward. Before you go, any final word?
We just want to let everybody know that basketball is here. Come out and support. And so far we love the love so far. We just want everybody to come on board and be a part of it, so that we know we could just grow sports in Tobago, because we know that sports in Tobago, in my opinion, is in a rise.
Yeah, of course.
There's so much things happening right now, from cricket last week to football. We have primary school football, we have secondary school football, we have netball going on.
So we have a fella swimming from Tobago to Trinidad as well too.
Exactly. And we have cycling. Exactly. So definitely.
Exactly. And just before you go on, I really wanted to mention all of that as well. And you've spoken to a lot of them: primary schools football, primary schools netball, secondary schools football, cycling classic, and we also have the masters competition coming up as well.
Definitely.
We spoke about sport tourism.
Yes.
That's an international, regional competition, because we have teams from around the region coming and participate as well. And I want to congratulate John Pocoop, the guy who's from from Tobago to Trinidad last night, and I think he is the 3rd person to have achieved that feat. So congratulations to him.
Definitely.
I can't even swim from Rocky Bay down to Store Bay, so that's a remarkable feat. But before I go, today is October the 4th. Some guy by the name of Marcus Daniel is his birthday today. I came in here, no cake, no champagne. This is my last day with Tobago Updates. Can't believe on a working day I can't have a drink. More dry. You showing done yet? That's a drinking over. But tell you guys, the best day of the year is here, October the 4th. Yes. Thank you guys so much for being here this morning. I want to continue to encourage you guys to go out there and support sport. The International Cycling Classic, it's at Plymouth today. Go down there and support the thing now, man. Yeah? And we have primary school football today. We have game in Singland Hill, Monk St. George, in Roxborough as well.
Secondary school football.
And then secondary schools football. I heard of something that happened in a match with Speyside versus Singland Hill, when the match was not played. but I'm going to speak about next week, sometime next week. But I'm going to turn you guys over to Natalie. Good morning, Tobago. And I want to encourage you guys to continue to share the live, share the live, share the live.
International Day of Peace reminds us the solutions of cultivating peace are in our hands. Cultivating a culture of peace means replacing division. It means replacing disempowerment. It means replacing despair, and we replace it with justice, with equality, and hope for all mankind. The universal theme this year is cultivating a culture of peace. And one must say that this theme is most fitting for such a time like this. Agreed? Our goal at the Community Mediation Center is to engender a culture of peace throughout our little island, Tobago.
I think it is critical for us to commemorate this day as we move towards building a more diverse and inclusive society. Peace has to be our foundation.
Given the situation where crime is concerned throughout the country, I think celebrating peace, World International Peace Day, is very vital as a reminder to us as a people that we should live in peace and unity, and that we should appreciate each other as a people.
Peace is a projection of self. Whatever we think, whatever we feel, it projects peace. And peace is very important at this time in Tobago with all the crime happening. And you know, it all stems from home. Charity begins at home. It don't end abroad, but it continues. So with peace, within and at the home, it can project outside as an individual.
I want to encourage all of us to actively think about what we do every day. Actively think about every single conversation that we have, every single email that we send, every single whatever that we do, to ensure that it is one that engenders and cultivates peace.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
On October 3rd, the Kendall Farm School will be hosting the first major event on this year's World Food Day calendar. The event is the Kendall Farm School Green Market. It will be hosted from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So there will be demonstrations, there will be a tree planting activity. We will be putting on demonstrations in terms of sustainable waste disposal, like composting. There will be educational items on recycling, as well as reusable packaging and biodegradable packaging. We believe that it was important to highlight in this time sustainable environmental living and environmental stewardship. We felt that it was necessary to bring across this educational aspect, apart from just creating a space for people to shop and showcase their wares.
We have a series of events planned for 2024, beginning with the Green Market here at the Kendall Farm School on October 3rd. And following that, we have the Grand Exhibition, which is what everyone thinks of when they think of World Food Day. And that is on October 16th and 17th. Following that, we have several other events. We have a horticulture market. We have the Lamb Festival. We have a Women in Agriculture Expo on November 29th. And then we have a Chocolate and Mud Festival at the Lure compound on December 1st. In between, we have many seminars and training series happening. So again, pay attention to the Facebook page. The dates are scattered throughout the October and November time period. And then we have a tractor caravan going to different schools and showing the school kids what agriculture life can be like.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
For staying with us this morning. I am your host, Natalie Seeley Richardson. And as I said, it's Friday. And of course, we have to start off this morning's show with our news in 90 seconds. Tobagonian John Prokop successfully completed his fourth attempt at swimming from Trinidad to Tobago. From Tobago to Trinidad. Departing from Scarborough, Tobago on Wednesday, October 2nd, shortly before 10 p.m., Prokop successfully completed his fourth attempt of swimming from Tobago to Trinidad 24 hours later on Thursday as anticipated. Inspired by an enslaved man named Sandy, who is believed to have escaped capture by swimming from Tobago to Trinidad in the 18th century, Prokop completed his venture incident-free. Prokop, who is now receiving widespread praise for his historic swim, was supported by boat operator David McLean, also known as Predator. The Joint Trade Union Movement, which represents about 50,000 members across 11 unions, has rejected the government's proposed 5% wage increase for public sector workers as announced during Monday's budget presentation. Joint Trade Union Movement President Ansel Roger criticized the government for bypassing collective bargaining and announcing the wage increase without prior negotiations with recognized unions. He described the finance minister's offer as contemptuous and disrespectful, emphasizing that it lacked proper dialogue with the unions. Roger argued that the proposed increase would not adequately address the financial struggles of workers and accused the government of trying to garner political support with inadequate promises. Opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is scheduled today to respond to Finance Minister Imbe's 2025 budget, aimed at addressing those she claims have been abandoned by the People's National Movement. Persad-Bissessar's response will critique the government's $59.8 billion budget, focusing on the economic assessment, financial management, crime challenges, while proposing alternatives. She is expected to present a plan highlighting the UNC's vision for the country, focusing on public security and economic issues. And that was your news in 90 seconds. And we go straight to our guest this morning. I had the pleasure of speaking with him not too long ago, and he's back this morning. I speak of no other than the political leader of the PNM Tobago Council, Mr. Ansel Dennis. And of course, this morning, sir, thank you for being with us this morning, and we are going to continue the conversation we are hearing, whether it's on the streets, in the office, in the media. On Monday, we heard the budget presentation by the finance minister, and everybody has an analysis to present, their opinion, etc. So we, of course, will get your take on that presentation this morning. So welcome again.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be on Tobago Updates. Good morning to your listeners and your viewers as well. It's a pleasure to be here again in such a short space of time.
And before, of course, there are certain things I know we want to discuss coming out of the budget. But what's your overall view on Monday's presentation?
I think the budget, of course, it was long. It might have been a record presentation of 5
Definitely,
hours.
yes.
But the Minister of Finance was very detailed with the government's achievements over the last few years. And I think that was necessary because, of course, we have the opposition all over the country with a lot of misinformation and, deliberate efforts to try to hoodwink the population and destabilize the country. So I think it was necessary for him to bring that kind of detail on this occasion at least. But the budget was contextual because a government and a country operates within a global context. We're not existing by ourselves, and a small country like ours and the entire region actually is always impacted by global events. So we have to take into consideration our realities, the price of oil, the price of gas, which is our main source of revenue apart from taxation. We have to take into consideration the global environment, the global inflation, which stands at 5%. Some of the things happening globally that tend to destabilize shipping and global economies, which would cause some headaches for us and cause some increases in terms of the cost of importing goods into the country. So I think the budget took all those things into consideration, and I think if those plans are in fact implemented, then Trinidad and Tobago will continue to experience economic growth, as the forecasts have shown that we have been growing coming out of the pandemic. So I think we are on course, and the Minister of Finance read an excellent budget as far as I'm concerned.
One of the comments around is that this is an election budget. Usually when the budget is read before an election year, you hear a lot of people talk about, they just put things in there to make us feel good or to mama-guy us, to use our local parlance. And what do you think about, the naysayers who are saying that? Because when you drill down in the budget, of course, it covers all the sectors. There will always be things that we like and we don't like, as you mentioned, your overall view on it.
Yeah.
So what...
Fortunately for the country, that is not the way the PNM operates. If you want to see an election budget, then I think we have to go back to the last budget of the People's Partnership, where despite the circumstances of the country, a number of goodies were promised. Even baby grants were promised to mothers, which I think was never implemented.
Yes, right.
So the PNM is not about that. We are not about reading a budget with promises and goodies to woo the population or to hoodwink the population. We are about looking at the real circumstances, looking at the realities, and making provisions for that, and taking policy measures and fiscal measures that are in the best interest of the country at the point in time. So it certainly isn't an election budget. We didn't have any increases in pension, no increases in social support.
Right.
We had a slight increase in the minimum wage for public sector workers. No increase in fuel prices, no increase in taxes or anything like that. But when you examine the entire budget, I think the package was a very comprehensive one. There are a number of opportunities, especially for the business sector, the agriculture sector, etc. And if people are really interested in the meat of the budget, then there will be something there for everyone. So it certainly wasn't an election budget.
And the minister was quite clear in his presentation about that increase in the wage for those who are at the minimum wage level in public sector, because of course last year we know that the minimum wage was increased by 17%, and I mean the technocrats were quite aware that small businesses cannot handle an increase. But though it wasn't stated, do you think that having the public sector minimum wage increase would force the hand now of the private sector?
No, not necessarily, because the minimum wage is really established by law. It's policy, it's government policy, and it is established by law, and therefore businesses or anybody operating in the country that pays a wage knows that is the minimum wage. Right. So that minimum wage of $20.50 still exists. businesses who can afford to pay more can pay more. Not every business pays a minimum wage, as we know.
Right.
It depends on the nature of the business, the nature of the job, etc. But the minimum wage establishes the minimum.
Right.
Right. So I don't believe it will force businesses to follow suit. The government decided to make this decision at this point in time because it is really related to the people that are being paid by the government, and therefore the government can afford to do that. It wasn't an exponential increase to create this major gap between public sector minimum wage and private sector minimum wage, but the government felt that at this point in time it's something we can afford to do, and it is something that will help the economy overall without creating too much of a shock.
And of course, in every budget, there are certain sectors, that will take the bulk of it. So of course you have national security, you have education, areas like that, and of course health. I just want, before we get in, and of course I know everybody's waiting to hear us talk about the THA part of it and the allocation, but before we get there, I know that grants were promised, book grants, etc. from the government, and people were asking if it was across the board in terms of Trinidad and Tobago, and I know that the minister spoke about the success of the $1,000 grant to assist those who are economically disadvantaged, and of course means tests, etc. were applied, and he's looking forward to it being again, implemented next year. Were Tobagonians afforded that opportunity in accessing that specific book grant?
Yes. Tobagonians are in the fortunate position of always having two bites, sometimes at the very same cherry.
Right.
Because any grant that is national in scope is open to the people of Tobago. Whether it's business grants, home improvement grants. We saw where the Minister of Youth was in Tobago recently, giving out business grants through NIDCO. We saw recently as well where the Minister of Housing was in Tobago distributing housing grants.
Right.
So there's nothing preventing Tobagonians from applying and receiving any national grants, right? The law doesn't prevent that at all. So yes, the book grant is available unless the ministry or the government stipulates that a policy is not open nationally, then only in those circumstances it will be different. But any national program from any ministry is available to Tobagonians as well.
And of course, viewers, at this time, we'll take a quick break. And when we return, we talk about the allocation to the Tobago House of Assembly. So stay tuned.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning.
Attention soldiers, are you ready for the ultimate mission for Tobago Carnival? It's time to gear up for Army Fed Operation Rocks Glow.
I feel like I run in tongue again. No place like home. Put 'em in the center, put 'em in the center.
We're taking the vibes out to the countryside, where a premier cast of live entertainment will be pumping all night long. Army Fed Operation Rocks Glow. Join us on Thursday, 24th October at the Sid Grace Sporting Complex, Roxborough, for the high-energy Wear White Soca Bashment Rocks Glow. Army Fed Tobago. Operation Rocks Glow.
Swap down. Track 7. Tobago of a plan. Let me go now. Yes. Yes. Let me go. If you want life in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago. If you want vibes in the islands, come through Tobago. Come through Tobago. Escape Tobago. Wanted this all of my life. One place with all of my life. Everything that I need is all on the island. You can come in, stay more than a while. So go catch your friends, bring something, and pack up your bag, let's go. If you're looking elsewhere, na 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 na. If you're going elsewhere, na na na.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me you're very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them not enough cash, Broke what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
You are the good old.
The deal but enough 99. Girl, who the clam can't lie. Top nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on my man.
Dream.
Thank you for staying with us and welcome. And of course, to all our viewers who may be now joining us this morning, we continue along the topic of our budget that was presented on Monday by the finance minister. We know that it's being spoken about at the barber shop and the restaurants, on the streets and the market at home. And even many of our media houses have been hosting post-budget panels, etc., because everyone has something to say. And of course, we are no different here at Tobago Updates. We do have with us this morning is political leader of the Tobago arm of the People's National Movement, and we are also having that discussion about the budget. So thank you for joining us again, viewers. So Mr. Dennis, let's look at Tobago because this is where it really matters for us. And we're looking at the allocation. We have heard what the politicians here have said. We are hearing what they are saying in Trinidad, etc. And it depends on the side you sit on, you hear particular things, you know. So let's get right into it in terms of the allocation. And for some people, this may be the very first time they are hearing the information. So let's talk about the amount allocated to THA and the breakdown of it.
Right. So I want to back up a bit. I just want to read it to the viewers some statistics, right? Because interestingly, the conversation coming from the leaders in Tobago at this time is riddled with inaccuracies. And to me, it's just flippant excuses for non-delivery and mismanagement. I want to read the allocations given to the PNM in their last 3 years. 2.283 billion in 2019, 2.134 billion in 2020, 2.357 billion in 2021. And we know that we were only there for about 3 months of that fiscal year. The total $6.7 billion. The TPP, well, it might very well be PP as an arm of the UNC.
Right.
In 2022, they received an immediate increase of 200 and something, close to $300 million. So they went to 2.521. They got a further increase last year to 2.585, and then even another increase this year at 2.599, a total of $7.7 billion. And yet they come to the population to claim that the Minister of Finance wicked and the central government wicked, and the budget was one that will suppress Tobago and prevent Tobago's development. That is a very interesting conversation because these were the same people over the last 20 years when the PNM were in office, or the previous 20 years. They were very adamant that the PNM had enough resources and the PNM did nothing for Tobago and the PNM did not manage well. They never complained about resources at that point in time. It was never a discussion for them that perhaps the PNM wasn't getting enough money, or perhaps Tobago wasn't getting enough money under the People's National Movement in the THA. Their conversation was that we did not manage the resources well, and they will do better, and that Tobago is a broken, failed state, and they must be given an opportunity to fix it. Now they have the opportunity, with more resources, $1 billion more than the PNM got in a corresponding 3 years, and nothing to show for it, right? So Tobago's allocation, I will never sit here and say that it is enough, because we managed Tobago from 2001 to 2021, and we were adamant that Tobago required more resources, and that is why we championed this trust towards Tobago's autonomy. Mr. London started in 2004. He went through one process then a somewhat new process was started again in 2013, where Ho-Choi Charles, Mr. London, and all the other political operatives, as with Jack at one point in time, was part of that process. And we decided that, look, in order to fix Tobago's issues, then we have to deal with the inadequacies of THA Act 40 of 1996. And had that bill been passed in 2021, and it would have been passed had it not been for Farley Augustine, and I'll tell you why. One of the reasons Mr. Charles and Mr. London joined together is that they recognized that if Tobago could sing the same song from the same hymn book in unity, then we could not be ignored by the Parliament, right? So that happened. We were together, we were united from 2013 to 2016. A bill went to the cabinet. Cabinet took it to Parliament without making any changes. The Parliament procedures require that a joint select committee be established to look at the bills. A very balanced joint select committee was appointed. It comprised UNC members, PNM members in the government, and independent members of the Senate.
Right.
And they looked at the process, they did the research, they did the consultations, they spoke to experts, they spoke to professionals, they spoke to lawyers, and they came out of that process with two bills, two very good bills. Are the bills perfect? No. No legislation is perfect. Right? But legislation and the passage of law is about compromise. Right? It's always about compromise. It's always about the lawmakers coming together, sharing various point of views, and coming up with the best possible approach. And sometimes during that compromise, you don't always get what you want. And therefore, you have to look at it in a context of whether what I'm getting now is better than what I had before. Right? So, of course, Farley Augustine decided that politically, the passage of autonomy at that point in time was not going to be beneficial to him. And therefore, he launched a scathing attack against the process, making all kinds of false claims. But ultimately, he wrote a letter to parliamentarians, basically calling on them to reject the bills, right? And when the UNC members of parliament got up to speak on the issue, none of them spoke about the bills.
Okay.
All they did was repeat the claims of Farley Augustine and Ho-Choi Charles that Tobagonians not supporting the bills, that there were insufficient consultations. And guess what? We didn't even bother to take it to a vote because we knew that the UNC, based on their statements, were not prepared to support the bill. Now that Farley is the Chief Secretary, I think a year or so ago, he was on this very program saying that the bills are not very bad after all. All they require some slight changes. So we are saying, and I'm saying to him directly, if he's now in the position of Chief Secretary, seeing the challenges with fiscal resources for Tobago, experiencing it himself, and I believe he's now prepared to repent for the error of his ways and the hypocrisy of his ways, then he should now challenge his UNC friends and his UNC allies to support the bills.
And Mr. Dennis,
Those
I'm
bills,
so sorry. I just have to interrupt you. We need to go for a quick break and we'll continue our conversation.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy run out. Hey, the biggest and sexy.
Now here what's going on. You see this section? It makes me feel to move. You know why? It's called Pina Colada. I like Pina Colada.
Forget just the girl them crave for. They really need it too. When you play with
oh my goodness, and as the name says, it is as creamy as it's sweet.
Never wanna leave cause the drinks them running for throw. Cause I really feel a vibe every time I start right down and up and like this, but it's nothing like this. Not you be like you, again jam say something and nobody like you. And every single time we touch, you know I never stop.
This is Pina Colada, something nice with a little bit of spice, and of course, not once, but we're gonna do it twice.
Cruise make the border.
We are on the road with Pina Colada. Boom, boom.
Oh yeah! I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
Embark on an adventure to the greatest little island on the planet. Tobago invites you to ritual, revelry, and release.
Whining in the Bago sun, having Bago fun, and Bago drinking rum. We go jump up and carry on.
From October 25th to the 27th, 2024, experience the energetic vibe, the vibrant colors, and the unforgettable spirit of the Tobago Carnival.
Down here in Tobago. In Tobago.
Whether you're tripping down the road or marveling at the beauty and creativity of our artisans, Tobago Carnival is an adventure.
I said I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for Carnival to come. So I call all my friends, making my plans for the Tobago Carnival fun.
Join us for ritual, revelry, and release. Tobago Carnival 2024, where every moment is memorable.
I said I can't wait for Tobago in October.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up and look. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Thank you very much, viewers, for staying with us. We are back and coming to you live from downtown Scarborough at the Port Mall. And we continue our conversation with political leader of the Tobago arm of the Tobago's Council of the People's National Movement. And I forgot to mention that he's now Senator, so I should address him as Senator Dennis this morning. And he was just letting us know in terms of the autonomy bill and the rejection made by Mr. Farley Augustine. And we continue this conversation at this time.
Yeah. So I am challenging the Chief Secretary to change his stance on the bills, right? Previously it was strong rejection. I understand that he was out of office. He didn't feel that, you know, the passage of those bills would have benefited their election and their political position. But he's in office now, and he's feeling the pinch, obviously, unable to manage with limited resources, as the PNM were able to do over the last, the 20 years that we were in office. We managed with even scarcer resources. We managed with less resources. And the people of Tobago did not feel the level of dissatisfaction, the level of pain that we are experiencing now. So now that he's in office, I'm asking him to change his stance, support the bills. The bills will guarantee 6.8%, and there's this talk that if the Minister of Finance wants, he can give the THA the 5.8% they're asking for. That is just foolishness.
Why is it? Why?
Because if we examine from 2001 to present, no government, whether it be UNC or the People's National Movement, no government has given the Tobago House of Assembly more than 4.37%, right? So it is foolish to expect this Minister of Finance to give you 5.58%.
But why though? Why,
just like that?
What is holding a central government from giving that?
Because the budget is really an overall plan for the entire country.
Right.
Every ministry submits requests for funding just like the THA.
Right.
And all of them will have wishes and aspirations beyond what is available. Every ministry does that. And I can tell you a lot of those ministries, if the THA thinks that they are the only person or they are the only organization that does not get their full allocation, check out the ministries in Trinidad. And even during the cycle, even during the fiscal year, ministries experience cuts in their funding.
Right.
Because the government may decide that they want to shift priorities. They may want to take some from Ministry of Sports, for example, and give it to national security. That does not happen with the THA. So it is totally foolish to look at a 24-year period, seeing that all governments have given between 4.3% to 4.37%, I think, has been the maximum. But you are now coming to force the government or force the Minister of Finance to give the THA 5.58% after, because I must say this as well. The Chief Secretary brought a motion to the House the Thursday before the budget. That's 3 days before the budget. Guess what? By that time, the budget was already prepared.
Right.
And possibly printed. So that was just ridiculous and foolish politics and semantics. The reality is, in order to change Tobago's circumstances, where funding is concerned, we have to change the law. Right. This law that is before the Parliament, these bills, proposes 6.8% of the national budget. And guess what? If it is passed, no government, UNC, PNM or whoever, no government could take God out their thoughts and give less than what the law prescribes.
Right.
And that is what the word minimum means. Minimum is minimum, meaning you can't go below that. In addition to that, the law proposes that Tobago will have the ability to make laws for the first time. Currently, we cannot make laws.
Right.
Right? Currently, and we tried it before, the process of making laws in the THA, you know what it is? You bring a bill, you debate the bill, you pass the bill in the THA, and guess where it goes next? To the cabinet. Not even Parliament, the cabinet. And then cabinet gets to decide if it goes to the Parliament.
Right.
And then if it gets there, your fate is really in the hands of the 41 MPs and the 30 senators in the Parliament to pass your law. This bill proposes that Tobago will have its own legislature, including the president. So if we debate and pass a bill into law in Tobago, the president must then give assent.
Ratified.
It's not even ratified. It's really a formality.
Right.
Because the president doesn't necessarily have the opportunity to refuse to pass or to refuse to give assent to a piece of legislation coming from the legislature.
Okay.
Right? So it removes the parliament, the national parliament, totally from the equation, and Tobago will have its own legislature. How do you reject that? And decide and make a conscious decision that if that is rejected, then your circumstances will remain the same. You will remain with 4.03%. You will remain as the minimum. You will remain in a situation where you are unable to make laws for the good governance of Tobago. And I want to say as well that had that law been in effect since 2021, had Farley taken the gamble and said, all right, I'm joining with the PNM, and I'm calling on the UNC to support the bills. Guess what? The UNC would not have had a choice, because a powerful signal would have come from Tobago that this is what we want it now, and we have to get it now. Had it been passed, he still might have won the election, and he would have had available to him today on this occasion in this budget $4.06 billion, more than what he requested. And had it been passed back in 2021, this administration, instead of benefiting from only an additional $1 billion, it would have benefited from a further $4.5 billion. And that is the facts, and it cannot be disputed. So I'm calling on the Chief Secretary, and I'm calling on the Tobago House of Assembly to join us in the PNM, because we are now going to call on the Parliament. The bills are going before the Parliament again very soon. I will be in the Parliament on this occasion.
Right.
I was there the last time it was debated, but I was not there as a lawmaker. this time I have the opportunity to serve in the Senate as one of the lawmakers that will hopefully vote for this bill. I'm calling on the Chief Secretary, I'm calling on the THE, I'm calling on the TPP, I'm calling on the PDP for us to come together and make this final clarion call on our parliament and parliamentarians to support the bills as they currently are, right? And even if the bills require the slight changes as the Chief Secretary may suggest, then the parliamentarians are free to debate that and go back and forth and come up with the best possible clauses to treat with the specific situation and pass the damn bill. That is what needs to happen.
Right, and I don't want us to really switch our conversation in terms of the budget, though it's connected, but I want to follow up on a statement because you have accused or you have said that the Chief Sec would have rejected the bill, but if I remember clearly, he was very specific in why he rejected the bill. And yes, there was a introduction or a proposal of increasing the allocation 6.9%, 6.8% minimum. But I know one of the concerns expressed not only by the Chief Secretary but others as well is that that fixed percentage in terms of 6.8 would mean something this year, and in the next 10 years it may mean something else. And one of the other concerns, of course, and we've heard this back and forth in terms of the definition of what Tobago is in terms of its borders. So specific points were shared in terms of why the bill was rejected and not just,
And that is irrelevant. And I'll tell you why. This talk about not having a percentage is ridiculous because we have had a percentage for several years.
But does that mean it's right? Or?
And I see nothing wrong with it because there is a fiscal review commission that will be put in place and that will have the responsibility with some teeth when you check the legislation properly to periodically review the Tobago House of, it will be the Tobago Island government at this time. So even moving from Tobago House of Assembly to the bill prescribing that there be a Tobago Island government, which is what Trevor and Farley and they are calling themselves now, right? But they will have the opportunity to call themselves that correctly when the bill becomes law. So it prescribes a fiscal review commission that will have the teeth to review Tobago's allocation from time to time. In addition to that, it gives Tobago some more authority to borrow. Currently, the Minister of Finance can constrain the ability of the THE to borrow because the act says it must be with his approval. Right? Under the new arrangement, that fetter is removed to some extent. And therefore, it is really a non-issue to talk about 6.8% being the minimum. Right? The other thing you mentioned is how Tobago is defined. The law defines Tobago as the island of Tobago and the island of Trinidad, etc., etc. The point of contention has to do with the amount of maritime resources. Right? That is what people are really trying to treat with maritime resources within the island of Tobago. And to me, again, that is a non-issue because all the legal experts have looked at that proposal and they have advised that the best arrangement is to have an exclusive economic zone for the entire country, the unitary state of Trinidad and Tobago, right? And all the resources, I saw during the election campaign, Farley and they again with their folly, put up some very misleading posters all over the place. Some of them are still up. I think there's one in Rockleyville, right? Identifying what they consider to be the discoveries of energy resources and affixing some ridiculous sums to those resources, trillions of dollars in some cases. The reality is that we cannot and we have not been able to determine the value of those finds. And therefore, for me, the resources are the resources of Trinidad and Tobago. Right? Full stop. I do not support us going down the road of Tobago, you keep your oil. Trinidad, you keep your oil. That is not the way a unitary state operates.
Right.
All the resources within the jurisdiction belong to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There is a central government, and some people are arguing as well for federalism, that you should have a federal government and a government for the island of Trinidad and a government for the island of Tobago. That is just one complicated opinion.
Right.
Right? The simplest way for us to treat with this current situation are the two bills before the parliament. Because guess what? In order for there to be a federation, the people of Trinidad will need to agree that they want to establish a federal government at the top and also a government of Trinidad. How long do you think that process is going to take us?
Right.
Right? So it is really counterproductive to attempt to introduce those things into the discussion at this point in time. And you are trying to tell me that you're getting a 6.8% minimum, billions of dollars in addition. You're getting the opportunity to make laws. You're getting a fiscal review commission that will review Tobago's allocation from time to time. You're getting authority to treat with all the critical areas of government on the island without the cabinet domination that we currently have. And you are telling me that you are going to reject that just because you don't get 200 nautical miles?
So
does that make sense?
So has central government been giving the THA its full allocation in terms of what would have been presented and what was, set out to be given to THA? Has the Tobago House of Assembly been getting the full allocation?
Yes. As far as I'm aware, the answer to that is yes. Now, mind you, a budget is a forecast. The Minister of Finance may read his budget and say to the population that I propose to spend $60 billion.
Right.
Then, during the cycle, during the fiscal year, certain conditions may arise, circumstances may change, and the government may only spend $55 billion. Of course, they will come back to make the necessary changes. The Tobago House of Assembly is entitled to a minimum 4.03% of the $55 billion, not the $60 billion that was originally read. Yeah?
Right.
So, it is really foolishness. And if the THA really believes that they were not given all their money and that the Minister of Finance is robbing the Tobago House of Assembly, then go to court. Farley has been there for 3 years as Chief Secretary making these allegations. Go to court. But he would not go to court because he knows he cannot win in court. And therefore, this is just another argument to appeal to the uninformed and to stir up their base.
But I think in the last legislature sitting last week, I think the Finance Secretary did make mention that all the allocation, the total allocation is not being received by the Tobago House of Assembly.
And again, as far as I'm concerned, that is a lie. And if that is the truth, go to court. Take the government to court. Because what they're accusing the government of there is breaking the law.
Right.
And when you break the law, you should end up in court.
Right.
Right? But again, they will not go to court because they know what they are advancing to the population is falsehoods.
Right. And you made mention, of course, the resources belong to Trinidad and Tobago. The fight for this is mine, this is yours, of course, would lead to more contention.
To me, that is counterproductive and totally unnecessary.
And in the minister's budget presentation, and let me just read this part. He says, Madam Speaker, I anticipate that the strong economic and macroeconomic performance in Trinidad, characterized by sustained GDP growth, high employment levels, and stable low inflation, will contribute to an improved economy in Tobago.
Well, the minister may hope for that, but the reality is, in Tobago, there is a Tobago House of Assembly. And yes, while the overall country situation will impact on Tobago, if our resources in Tobago are not managed well, then that will not redound to the economic benefit of Tobagonians. Right? And that is the other thing I wanted to mention. Notwithstanding any allocation, the question is really, are our resources being managed effectively in the best interest of the people of Tobago? And the answer to that is no. And some people are extremely hypocritical, because I heard the technical advisor for education, of course, sent by the secretary, lamenting at the fact that the government had some program to treat with I can't remember the exact details, but I think it had to do with children that are slow learners, right? And she's saying that because it's a national program, that the Tobago House of Assembly should have benefited. Now, that what she was talking about, there wasn't necessarily a national program available to individuals. As I said before, any national program, grants, etc., available to individuals. Any resident of Tobago, as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, can apply and benefit.
Right.
But if the Ministry of Education is doing a program down there for their students, then Tobago doesn't necessarily benefit from that, because education in Tobago is the responsibility of the Division of Education. So you have to do your own program in Tobago. But interestingly, while they make that argument, Trevor James refused an offer from NIDCO, right? That is the entity responsible for the airport project, to build a road to the airport to the tune of $135 million. They refused that, saying they will build it themselves, right? So it's just a whole lot of hypocrisy. And that refusal was made in a context where they are advancing to the people of Tobago that they don't have enough money. You don't have enough money, but you refused the $135 million road from NIDCO in very special circumstances, right? It's not your typical road. We're building an airport. The airport needs a road. As part of the package, the central government, through NIDCO, was prepared to finance that. You refused that. You have spent so far close to $25 million in traveling in 3 years. And I'm challenging you to do the research, and you will discover that in 20 years of PNM, we did not spend, I believe, more than $15 million in overseas travel. These people have spent over $20 million in 3 years on traveling. But they are telling the people of Tobago that money short. Money short, but you're bringing in all the contractors to do all the major projects in Tobago from Trinidad and have our resources going out of the island. But money short, right? Money is short, but you decided that in order to participate in Tobago Day, you're going to carry about 7 members of the Executive Council and 97 other Tobagonians at a cost of over $3 million. But money is short. Who are they trying to fool?
And very often, you know, when we have these type of interviews, the back and forth in terms of who's spending, who's not, and what the other side says. And we make a lot of comparisons. And sometimes I think when we make these comparisons, I don't think it's really accurate, because if you're looking at even expenditure, you know, what would have cost, you know, $10 during that time, even now, so it's going to cost more. So it may seem as though I'm spending more, right? But it's the same, you know, what can I say? It's so I buy a car 10 years ago, I paid $500. I'm buying the car this year, now I have to put out more money, but it's a car, you know. So I hear a lot of comparisons, even with the budget. And I think sometimes we don't factor in the other, you know, the other things that may make changes. And sometimes we just compare figures without really, you know, examining. And I just want to, you know, go back again to the budget and just to share the allocation. So I continue to read from the minister's presentation. I will now outline the allocation for Tobago for the fiscal year 2025. The THA allocation totals $2.599 billion, of which $2.376 billion is for recurrent expenditure, $205 million is for development program expenditure, and $18 million is for the URP and $9.2 million for CPEP. The total allocation to the THA in 2025 represents an increase of $22.756 million, over the allocation of $2.576 billion in fiscal year 2024 and represents 4.35% of the national budget. And again, I stand to be corrected. I would have noticed, of course, the development program expenditure, that amount lessened. Right? And for many, that seems to be a concern, not just for those who are leading the Tobago House of Assembly, but Tobagonians in terms of trying to understand. You need development. And
Newsflash, for those who did not know, the Tobago House of Assembly is the only entity funded by the budget approved by the Parliament that can spend its resources however it sees fit. So no matter, of course, in order to allocate the money, the Ministry of Finance will place the money into several votes based on the THA's request. Right? That is simply procedures and how the system is designed. The Tobago House of Assembly is free to spend that money as they see fit. So not because it's in a vote belonging to the Division of Sport, it has to be spent there. The THA is free to go back and reprioritize that entire allocation of $2.599 billion. It doesn't matter where it was placed, right? And they know this. They can go back and reprioritize that and spend the money however they see fit. They have that authority under the law. The Ministry of Finance sent $50 million to Tobago for oil spill cleanup purposes. Ask them how much of it went to oil spill. They took that money, and I'm saying this publicly, they took that money and spent it on other things, and they are free to do that. For example, some of that money was used to pay some of the contractors from Trinidad, and they are free to do that. So let's not allow them to mislead the people of Tobago. The Ministry of Finance will apportion the money to various votes. That is to facilitate the money coming to Tobago. But once that money is given and the check reaches the THA, they could spend it how they see fit. Right? And I just want to go back to something you said. Yes, the value of money changes due to something we call inflation, but we have to look at the specific actions. The PNM administration did not engage in the kind of ridiculous and flippant and unreasonable and selfish overseas travel that we are seeing from this administration. If you do a specific comparison with Tobago Day, whenever an invitation comes from that organization inviting the THA to Tobago Day under the PNM, the Secretary of Community Development went, and perhaps a minimal number of performers on some occasions. It was never a case where we had 7 members of the Executive Council, plus board members from TATCO, and 97 other Tobagonians going on the expense of the taxpayer. That is irresponsible. Overseas travel is not to be used as some kind of opportunity just to jet off and have a good time. It is a serious expenditure that should be used for serious purposes. But under this administration, every morning somebody is leaving the country for some ridiculous reason at significant cost to the taxpayers, right? The other thing, we did not spend Tobago's money in a way that facilitated the leakage of that money from out of the Tobago economy. There is no justification for using up Tobago's entire development budget of $300 million, and all the contracts were given to companies from outside of Tobago. Anybody who understands economics will know the significant and damaging repercussions of that.
But Mr. Dennis, and again, I hear you, and I guess as an individual, I'm always amazed when I have these types of interviews, and I'll keep repeating it because nobody says they are wrong, right? You will have your strong points you present, the other side will have their strong points, and then we are in the middle. We have to pick out where it is.
That's how politics goes. Right.
Because
people-
everybody, and just
people-
before you continue, you know, and just understanding, because I hear you talk about the spending, but then somebody else can propose, this administration may be spending on travel, but the PNM administration would have spent on food, and every time you look, you see some kind of social gathering, or you're whining and dining,
Right,
whether
so-
it's the teachers, you know, so I'm just saying, I'm just
we had
looking at it in a
right,
general, overall way.
So, for example, jazz. Let's look at jazz. This administration pulled the plug on jazz.
Right.
We spent perhaps between $7 to $12 million a year on jazz. What was the benefit of that? The guest houses will be full, the hotels will be filled, the taxi drivers will make money, the yards of the car rental companies will be empty. The vendors will make money, the supermarkets will be filled, and you have to look at it in that context, the overall benefit to the economy. If you're building a road for $17 million, the THA is not going to see a profit, a direct profit from that road, where they're going to earn, all right, you spend $70 million on a road, so you're going to make back $10 million over a 7-month period to pay for the road. That's not how it works, right? But you expect that with that spend, the money is going to circulate in the Tobago economy, create jobs, create other opportunities, and the spin-off effects will ensure that the economy churns, because that is what an economy requires. It requires money. Whenever there is a recession, you know what the government does? When there was a 2008 financial crisis that impacted the United States, ravaged that economy, and spread to the entire world almost. You know what? One of the things that the government did immediately was to embark on a fiscal package to spend money. Because in order to keep the economy going and to cause a sluggish economy to recover, what is needed is an injection of cash to ensure that spending continues and the economy could recover. The minute you pull resources from an economy, right, it stifles the economy. It's like going underwater and not being able to breathe. And that is what has transpired in Tobago. If you remove $300 million per year, just like that, you pull the plug on jazz, you have basically damaged the Tobago Heritage Festival product. I think 2 or 3 major shows didn't come off this year, right? You cut the resources, saying that the communities were getting too much money. But that money, guess what? That money was circulating in the various communities. Whenever heritage comes off and the THE spend, I can't remember the budget, what was the heritage budget? But when we spend that money and we inject that money into communities, guess who benefited? The people of Tobago. And when you remove that, right, when you pull the plug on jazz, when you destroy the Heritage Festival, when you destroy the February Carnival, and when you embark on an October Carnival that has been totally sold out to Trinidad promoters and Trinidad operatives, and when you come to the development program and you pull the plug on the Agriculture Access Road program, you pull the plug on all the small projects, you pull the plug on the rental lease program and bringing all kinds of people from outside of Tobago to benefit from that, where do you think that money is going?
And I'm smiling because, again, I'm hearing you and I'm still thinking of examples under the PNM administration where Trinidadians were brought in to do things. And
Such
you mentioned heritage. And when the airing of heritage, at one point, the person, and again, I stand to be corrected from what I remember, the contract went to someone from Trinidad, in terms of airing, and he would have subcontracted it to someone here because he's like, you have the people here, I don't have to come, you know, and I mean, you would hear, so there's things like that, and that's what I'm saying.
So if it happened then, it was wrong. I don't know that it happened.
Right.
But if that happened, as long as you have a situation where talent, resources, and skill is available in Tobago, and you bring somebody from outside to do it, that is wrong. And that is not something I will support.
Right.
And I could tell you that under any PNM administration, I'm not agreeing that it happened in the past.
Understand.
That is not the policy. The PNM's policy and the policy that will be adopted under my watch is that Tobago will be first and foremost. And if we have the skills in Tobago and we have the resources in Tobago and the talent in Tobago to do specific things, then it cannot come from Trinidad. And yes, I understand that there is a procurement legislation, but the procurement legislation allows you to legally focus on local content and the development of of and the preservation of your small companies within a specific jurisdiction. And Tobago is a very special place, and we have to protect Tobago's interests.
And that's very interesting, and I'm glad you mentioned that. That could be a conversation maybe with even the technocrats, because as you mentioned that procurement bill, I don't know sometimes if the procurement officers really understand the legality and the remit, because that's a very important point you brought out in terms of what it allows you to do to consider the small businesses, etc. Because we know that Tobago does not have a large private sector.
Precisely.
And you have a lot of small businesses on the island who can offer these services. Yes, it may be $5 more, right? Of course, and we could understand why a lot of the things are coming. You have to pay the extra shipping. And many of the THA offices, let me just say many, I don't have the specifics, right? So some of the THA offices will always continue to do business with Trinidad suppliers.
And that is wrong.
I also work in the small private sector in Tobago, and I am always amazed, and I've always heard Mr. Leacock talk about this as well. I can't understand why letters are coming from THA departments asking small businesses on this island to contribute to their sports day, their queen show, their this, their that, and you are not helping build the economy, as you say, by spending here, injecting. We talk about pulling resources from the people, and it's not happening, and it has not been happening.
And that is wrong.
Unless you maybe have a direct contact and you know somebody.
Actions like that will destroy this island.
But it has been happening.
And I'm not exaggerating. Once Tobago receives its allocation, 99% of that money should stay in Tobago and circulate in Tobago. Now, I will accept that there are some things, some contracts that you will have to open to the national scope because of the technical capacity that might be required. The airport is an example. I am not aware of any Tobago contractor that could have built that airport.
Right.
But the road for the airport, a roundabout, a drain, to provide media services, to provide whatever.
But is it that, I don't know, and you again, it's just a question as we kind of going off in this direction. We have to wrap up because we are well over our time. When these large contracts are given out, as you say, for example, the building of the airport, is there any clause or any expectation of these large contractors to subcontract some of the...
Of course, and that is the case with the airport project.
Okay.
They are legally bound to do that as part of the contract. Okay. You must have a certain percentage of local content.
Right. Okay.
Right? So even if we're saying that we do have the skill, right, but there are specific parts of that project, like pouring concrete,
right,
or planting grass,
right,
those things can be sourced from within Tobago, right? So of course all those things will be built into the project. But the bottom line is, if you spend the limited resources, as they say, in a manner that does not benefit the people of Tobago, then you are further limiting the already limited resources, and you are destroying the Tobago economy. And I have to admit, I have to say to the people of Tobago that over the last 3 years, the Tobago economy has not only shrunk, but in my opinion, it has come to a screeching halt.
All right, and I think we can end on that note. Again, it's very important for those of us who live here to listen to what's going on around us, and we have to learn to hold our leaders accountable. It doesn't matter, what color you wear. I always say, when you cut me, you cut my neighbor. We bleed the same color. It's not a party color, but we need to always listen, ask questions, do your research. Not because you hear a politician accuse this one of corruption or this one, you now go and just repeat that. What is the corruption? What's the details? Get the facts. It's very, very important to be informed as much as you can. Listen to the different sides as well. If you are PNM, you don't only listen to PNM. If you are TPP, UNC, you don't only listen to, them. And you have to understand that and hearing, you know, what's coming out of the Tobago arm of the People's National Movement. Viewers, I hope that you enjoyed our show this morning. In fact, I know that you did. This is GMT. This is Tobago Updates. You always enjoy what we have to offer. Thank you for staying with us. And remember, as a people, we love Fridays because it begins the weekend for us. But remember to stay safe. Thank you for staying with us.
The energy filled the sky.